So today we're gonna be photographing this little guy. This is Gibson. He's a 13-week sheepadoodle. He's the newest part of our family. If you wanna check him out on Instagram, he's Rock and Roll Gibson. You can see what life behind the scenes looks like for me right now. My goal is to take 3 completely different looking photos of this guy, maybe a telephoto, a wide angle. If we're lucky, maybe we can get a macro shot and see if this guy will cooperate. I've been told that shooting dogs and babies is the hardest thing any photographer could do. Today we're gonna see how bad it is shooting a puppy that's completely distracted by everything going on in this park. What do you think? Are you ready to have your first photo shoot and first video appearance? You look a little hot. He's like, I'm not made for this hot weather in Charleston. This video is sponsored by Luminar AI. This version of Luminar has been completely rebuilt from the ground up and is Skylum's most powerful piece of software yet. With Luminar AI's new templates feature, the software automatically scans each image and suggests a series of AI processes that are unique to each individual image. Each photograph will be processed differently depending on if it's a landscape, portrait, wedding, food, or product shot. With templates, you can save tons of time by editing your photos by streamlining common adjustments that you make over and over again. Of course, Luminar AI has all the classic filters like sun rays, sky replacement, and structure AI, as well as new intelligent filters like body and face AI, skin AI, and bokeh AI. To get your own copy of this incredible software, click the link in the description below. The first shot I want to do is probably going to be the simplest. I want to take a portrait with a very blurry background, and in order to do that, I'm going to use my trusty 70-200. The goal is going to be to shoot as close to 200 millimeters as possible, and also set my aperture wide open to 2.8, and together that is going to guarantee that I get the blurriest background, which is going to remove any distractions that we have behind the dog. By simply zooming in, this technique is really great if you want to isolate your subject from your background, or if you have a really ugly background that doesn't look too great. This is a tried and true technique that every photographer needs to know how to do. For this shot, I'm shooting at ISO 100, wide open at 2.8, and my shutter is really quick because it's bright out here. I'm shooting at 1,250th of a second. The secret to a good photo shoot is making sure your talent always has enough water. Gotta stay hydrated out here. But now his beard's gonna be a little wet. You all right? You good? All right, boy, I need you to sit right here. I know it's hot, but you gotta look this way. Your beard's all wet, and hopefully I can get the back. No, no, come here. Oh, more people. Let's come right here. Maybe putting them in, maybe I can get them in the shade and that'd work better. Problem is I have this sign here and I have these cars here. What I'm gonna have to do is find the perfect little background, because if it's over here, it's too dark, and if it's over there, it's all construction. Sit, sit, boy, sit, sit, good boy. Gibson, hey, you want a treat? You want a treat? Hey, boy. Hey, boy, right here. All right, so I'm gonna get some horizontal shots. Also try to get some vertical shots. The trick here is to really watch what your background is. I'm shooting such a narrow little window that if I move the camera slightly, it really makes a big difference. Also, I have a lot of shade in the background and a lot of highlights, so changing the camera position makes a huge difference. Sit, boy, right here. Gibson. Gibson. All right, I think we got it. All right, so the next shot that I want to do is a really popular photograph to take with animals, and that is the ultra wide angle shot where it looks like the dog is right up in the lens and he's super distorted. To do that, I'm gonna switch lenses and go in the completely opposite direction. Instead of shooting telephoto, we're gonna shoot wide angle. So I'm gonna take off my 70-200. I'm gonna put on my Tamron 15-30. And the goal for this shot is going to be shooting around 15 to maybe 18 millimeters. And I'm gonna try to shoot really close and show off this incredible canopy of trees and also this nice walkway. Ultra wide angle lenses make everything close to the lens look really exaggerated, while making everything far away from the camera kind of diminished and small. This is great if you're in a really beautiful location and you want to showcase more of your background. You want to go wide angle lens. If you want to do the blurring effect, that's where the telephoto works. For this shot to work, I want to shoot vertical and really low, so I'm actually going to just kind of wing it and get the camera really low, autofocus, and then take the picture without really looking through the viewfinder. I think that's perfect, but we now need the dog. Where did the dog go? These are the most ferocious breeds of dogs you could imagine. Sit, sit.
Stay.
Right here. Gibson, look at this, look at this.
Stay.
Look at this. think I'm just gonna have to take a bunch of pictures. Gibson, right here. Gibson. Down, down. It's like I need his nose to go down. Right here, sit. Here, boy. I have a new appreciation for this type of photography. When you see great dog shots like this, they don't come easy, or they're just better photographers than me. And let me get some wide ones. Good boy, Gibson. Good puppy. Yeah, good boy. All right, I think we got something in there. All I need is one. Good boy. All right, so this is definitely one of those situations where I know a lot of photographers don't like to use this phrase, but I feel like this is a spray and pray situation. I'm not even looking through the viewfinder and I'm just having to click. As I go through these images, there's definitely some cool shots, but there are a lot of duds. There's a lot of images that look good compositionally, but he's just not looking at the lens. Also, with this being naturally lit, there's a lot of shots where I wish that there was like a big softbox to the side of him. I think they would look a little bit more dramatic, but we're gonna add a flash to this next shot and hopefully we can get something completely different looking with the macro lens. Gibson, which lens do you like the most? You want the macro or the wide angle? You like the wide angle? Well, let's try the macro first. What do you think of that? Finally, for this last shot, I want to create an image that really focuses kind of on an abstract feature of the dog, maybe his paws, maybe his fur. In this case, I'm thinking, what if we shoot your nose? That'd be kind of cool. And it's not going to be all about his face. You're not even going to know what dog it is. It's just going to be something really close up. If I was to use the 70 to 200 millimeter lens and shoot at 200 millimeters, I simply can't get close enough in focus. And that's where the macro lens is going to come into play, because this specialty lens will allow me to get much closer and it's going to magnify our subject a whole lot more and show all that cool detail that we're trying to capture. What do you think about that? Now, obviously, with a moving dog like Gibson here, it would probably be a lot easier to wait till he's really tired. I'm in a fortunate position where I'm just going to sedate him. I'm just going to put him under and just shoot out here. Actually, we can't do that, can we? We can't do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is run him around. Hopefully, he'll be a little tired. And hopefully, by sitting up on this bench, he's going to be really patient with me and stay in one place. Hopefully. Now, there's going to be two big issues you're going to face with a macro lens. The first one is the closer you get to your subject, the shallower the depth of field. So if I was to shoot at 2.8, I literally might just have a small sliver of his nose in focus. So to remedy that, I'm going to have to stop down, maybe shoot at f8, maybe f16, maybe even f32. And although that seems like a crazy aperture on a normal lens, on a macro lens, that might move it from a sliver to just a few centimeters, but those few centimeters might be just enough depth of field to get everything nice and focused. The second issue that you're gonna have with a macro lens is the closer that we focus and the more that we stop down, the more light we're gonna lose. So if I was to just shoot this with natural light, I might actually go up to ISO 4000 even in this bright environment, just because so little light is actually entering into the lens. To remedy this problem, I'm going to use an external flash. I'm going to put it right on top of my camera, and then I'm going to use some of these techniques that I've learned from Andre Smolin, who is an amazing macro photographer. We did a whole tutorial with him. You can find that at fstoppers.com/store. You can also check the free YouTube video in the links below. It's got over 1 million views. This is a technique that he uses all the time, where we use an on-camera flash just to give enough light so that we can shoot at these really small apertures. So before I get Gibson up here and I try to get him stationary, I'm gonna just go ahead and set my camera. Since all of the light is gonna be coming from the flash, it doesn't really matter what shutter I use, but I'm gonna go ahead and set this to a sync speed of about 1/160th. We're at ISO 100, which is the lowest ISO this camera goes to. Let's turn on my flash. I'm gonna go into manual mode. And since I shot a lot of rings as a wedding photographer, I'm just gonna guess that I need about 1/4 of a power on this speed light. So as you can see with this setup, just like all flash photography, if you were to point this straight at your subject, it's gonna be really harsh, it's gonna be super powerful, but then it's also just this small light and it's coming right above his face. It's probably gonna be really bad for his eyes too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a lot softer using one of the most advanced pieces of photo gear in the photo industry today, and that is this. The hard to find Fstoppers flash disc. And what this is this, it just sits on top of your flash like this, and it's gonna turn the small little head of your flash into a 12-inch diameter soft light. So now that we got our settings dialed in, we have the diffuser on top of our flash, let's get the pup up here and see if we can get an awesome picture of his nose. All right, so after doing a test shot on my hand, I've decided to lower the power to 1/4 and bump my ISO up to about 1000. I think that's just gonna be a little easier in his eyes. It's also going to allow me to have a faster refresh rate so that I can take more photos, because I have a feeling he's not gonna be very patient. All right, boy, let me see, let me see. The other thing that I've done is I've set my focus to the maximum magnification, and then instead of auto-focusing, which takes a lot of time and it's kind of unreliable, I'm just going to move the camera back and forth physically to find that perfect focus point, and then when I got the shot, I'm gonna just snap away. All right, puppy, right here. Nope, sit, sit, sit. There we go. I gotta wait on the flash to refresh because it is firing pretty heavy. Sit, sit, boy. There we go, there we go. Sit, sit. I don't think he likes the Fstoppers flash disc. He is not a happy customer. But if I get it just right, there we go. It is so hard looking through this while he moves and trying to stay orientated. If he was more tired, I think I would be able to get this a little bit better. But it's crazy seeing all the detail that you can get. Right there, Gibson. Perfect. Oh, yeah, I think we got it. That's definitely the hardest shot possible, but I think it's gonna be the most unique of the three. Three completely different images that you can do with your own pets. Gibson, which one do you like the most? You don't like any of them. You're ready to get out of here. I think he's pooped, he's exhausted, we've worn him out. But I got some cool pictures of him. I think it's really important to capture your pets when they're puppies because he's growing so incredibly fast. If you enjoy content like this, head over to fstoppers.com where we produce articles every day. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel below and hit the bell so that you're notified anytime we have a new video. And if you want to learn from some of the best photographers, head over to fstoppers.com/store. We recently released the Well-Rounded Photographer, which is 8 photographers teaching 8 completely different genres of photography. If you don't know what genre is best for you, or maybe you just want to add a new genre to your own photography, definitely check that out. I think it's time to get this guy into some air conditioning. I don't know if he needs it more or me, but either way, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you very, very soon.